Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet
Cause I
next
don't
to
give
me.
a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta
I
struggle
don't
through
give
the
a fuck
sewer.
what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Yeah, man. True Slinger here, coming at you. We are here coming at you live. Yeah, and we are going to be talking about, the stuff that people don't want to talk about that is all a conspiracy theory. We're all a bunch of crazy people, right? And that's directed energy weapons, right? We're going to talk about that stuff that doesn't exist, that's been out there being advertised by everybody and his brother for the longest time, and now all of a sudden we don't want to talk about it. Right, because half of Maui burned down, right? And so, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And where the hell am I? Right there. So, I forgot to turn the camera on, man. I got to investigate my automatic scene switching. You know, I do all this stuff manually. I can only learn so much in one day. I'm an old man. So anyway, welcome. I am the Truth Slinger. We need to change our episode number because we are on actually episode number, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it 140, 140 Live. All right. Let's call it 140 Live. There it is. So, all right. And we got a hippie chick. Whoops. Well, there, say hi, wave. Hey, how are you?
I'm okay.
That was a big surprise we had for today. And so we're going to be looking at directed energy weapons today. We're going to be looking at some weird shit, right, from the Maui fires, right? So what I want to do is I became introduced to this kind of stuff. I didn't know a whole lot about directed energy weapons until I did a package on it. I did a voiceover. That's what I do for a living, having this wonderful smooth voice that I do. That's what I do. So so yeah, I did this thing just a few weeks ago on the directed energy weapons that we have, and one in particular, which is it's a neutrino telescope or something like that. It's disguised supposedly as a scientific research device to peer out into the heavens and listen to radio signals. But apparently it's not just a receiver. It can also be a transmitter. Yeah. And apparently it can transmit quite a bit of power. And it has done one or two nasty things, supposedly. So, yeah, did you know that? Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, you lie. You knew that because you listened to me record this stuff and we talked about it the other day. But that's okay. So what I figure we'll do is we're going to just I got a new scene going on here. Let me see if I can figure it out. That would be yes, yeah, you and me up there in the top. See, right? Say hi. And then we got the great beholder, right? That's there. The eye, the magic. It's the magic eye. It's the YouTube magic eye that peers in on us from time to time to see if we're behaving. Right. So far, so good. Right. So let me go over here to find our window that I've got and see if we can't cue this up and play it.
My window is okay.
What? Right. So okay, there we are. So here you see this one down here. Now I'm gonna play the package. I didn't record this one, unfortunately. I don't know if I wasn't exciting enough. I did about 6 or 7 of these videos, and they start 2-timing me, right? So hold on a second.
My window's behind the other windows.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I can fix that. Hang on a second. Let me check the gas. Talk.
Oh, hi. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Maui in general, and because there's a lot of really bizarre, suspicious things going on there. And Tim did some voiceover work regarding directed energy weapons, which is what some people are saying were used in Maui because everything burned so hot, and there were things around the cars that didn't burn, like trees and things that were blue that didn't burn, that they said was because lasers don't burn things that are blue, or I'm not sure, but we're going to delve all into that. And yeah. So let's see. All right. Oh. He had to put gas in the generator. Yeah, it's running out. So it's always something. All right. So let's see. There's no one else watching. I think it's just me. We're still trying to work the bugs out. Oh, he's back. Yay.
I did it. I survived it. Yep. Yep. So there's your reminder to always, 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 always fill the generator before you start your live stream. All right. Got my torch over there now. I think we're all good to go, man. Yeah, you gotta see the torch. There you go. Right, the pains that I go to bring you a visual experience. Okay, so where were we? Did you tell him anything about this?
Yeah, I'm still behind the other window.
Oh, well, let me fix that for you.
You know, your window's good. And all.
Yeah, sure it is. Okay. Happy?
No. Oh, I guess I have to refresh. I don't know.
You will be. Oh, you will be in a second.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You'll be good there.
Truth Singer X.
Right?
Thank you.
So we're talking about how this weird shit happened in Maui, okay? Well, before we get there, let me introduce you to this direct energy weapon, which I narrated, and then I can save myself talking for a few minutes, and you can listen to this. I know, which is why I'm going to take some recorded material that I did before, and let myself do some of the work that I did before now. Right, so here, let's do this. Let's check that out. States military. Let's back it up. All right, let's make sure everybody can see. Just the window size here a little bit. Then we'll go down to news of the evening.
What?
I'm moving it around so that we can see it. Ready? There we go. Right, here we go. Nice. A frozen tundra, home of a $279 million high-powered energy weapon. An Antarctic military base run by the United States military.
That's you.
No one is permitted to visit Antarctica except for approved government representatives. A perfect place to hide. Until now. Until now. What? Oh, that stupid thing. While this might sound like a scene from a movie, it's actually not. Such a place does exist, and it's full of penguins who live life with no worries. We're talking about Antarctica, the coldest continent on Earth. Yet despite this peaceful front, don't be surprised if you come across an Antarctica military base in the form of a research center in the South Pole Station. One of the contractors from the base was who shed light on this. The name is Eric Hecker, Warheads. He is a Raytheon contractor at the South Pole in 2010 who was based out of the United States. He claims that in the South Pole Station there is an ice cube neutrino observatory. The Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory is a cubic kilometer particle detector made of Antarctic ice and located near the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station. It is buried beneath the surface, extending to a depth of about 2,500 meters. It is the largest neutrino telescope in the world, and it costs about $279 million to construct. It was built to explore and understand more about neutrinos, the most abundant particles that have mass in the universe. In simple terms, it looks at spectrums of light we cannot detect optically to understand more about the nature of our reality. Research at the facility also includes glaciology, geophysics, meteorology, upper atmosphere physics, astronomy, astrophysics, and biomedical research. However, there is much more going on there. Yes, the Ice Cube Neutrino does what its primary purposes are. To the outside world, it is said to be a passive listening device. But it's so much more than that.
Oh, yes, it is.
For starters, it can also be used as a directed energy weapon.
I say what?
This is because the 5,160 digital optical modules, DOMs, embedded in the ice can transmit at 2,047 volts of power each. That is 10,562,520 total volts.
monstrously more than a passive listening device would ever need. Typical research satellites operate at only 200 to 800 watts or 2 to 8 volts at 100 amps. This tech is so powerful it generates earthquakes. When it was first fired up, it caused earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. So it's an earthquake generating device that no one knows its full capacities because it's been kept under wraps, but we do know some.
So, are you listening to this? Okay. This is the shit of science fiction, people. Okay? And a few years ago, I would have never believed this shit. You know, people go, my neighbor goes, well, they've been controlling the weather for years. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, the CIA. And it's like, I know that it's possible that they can see, the clouds and, rain and stuff like that. But, we're talking about, they're diverting the jet stream and all this kind of shit, Yeah, I don't know. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, at least at the time. But now, I mean, it's like this thing supposedly can create an earthquake? Holy shit.
Something for sure. It's a weapon of war. The technology can also provide faster than light communication and is essentially an air traffic controlling system from highly advanced spacecraft not disclosed to the public. With such huge power outputs, maybe, just maybe, it is a non-sanctioned nuclear station that is being kept under wraps. If this is true, it would mean that for the last 13 years, as this technology has been fully operational, the U.S. government may have been using highly advanced energy technology at this facility. Now, here's the problem. The government has been telling us that the only solution to our energy and environmental challenges is to burden citizens with a carbon tax and shift towards wind and solar energy. But if they've had access to this advanced energy technology all along, it does raise some serious questions. But so far, it's not only the U.S. that wants a piece of Antarctica. So many nations want Antarctica. It is the driest, coldest, windiest place in the world. So why? Antarctica is not a country. It has no government and no indigenous population. Instead, the entire continent is set aside as a scientific preserve. The Antarctic Treaty, which came into force in 1961, states that Antarctica shall be used for peaceful and scientific purposes only. So, military activity is banned, as is prospecting for minerals. 53 states are currently signatories of the treaty. 29 of them have voting rights and are all engaged in research on the continent. They meet once a year, sit down, and take measures, decisions, and resolutions. The remaining 24 states may attempt to exert influence, and the same applies to observers and experts. However, is the system really fair when only those countries which are engaged in research are allowed to decide? One of the consequences of this framework in respect of research activities is that poor countries will never be able to have the opportunity to make decisions about Antarctica. South Africa is the only African country represented. Is this a fair system, or is the Antarctic Treaty a rich man's club? Most governments still want to know what's under the ice. Oil. Some predictions suggest the amount of oil in Antarctica could be 200 billion barrels.
I did that whisper.
Far more than Kuwait or Abu Dhabi. Now that is attractive to governments. Antarctic oil is extremely difficult and, at the moment, expensive to extract. But it's impossible to predict what the global economy will look like in 2048 when the protocol banning Antarctic prospecting comes up for renewal. By that stage, an energy-hungry world could be desperate. For over 70 years, 7 different countries have claimed sovereignty over parts of Antarctica. New Zealand, Australia, France, Great Britain, Chile, and Argentina have all made territorial claims over different parts of Antarctica. All of these countries also believe they have an entitlement to the South Pole. Britain started off with claims to the Falkland Islands in 1833, followed some decades later with territorial claims to South Georgia, the South Shetlands, South Orkneys, and the Sandwich Islands. Australia has the largest territorial claim on Antarctica, equating to 42% of the continent. This covers a vast 6 million kilometers squared, bigger than the entire European Union. Among others, The United States, Russia, India, Italy, South Africa, and Brazil have a permanent presence in Antarctica, though without territorial claims. Despite the Antarctic Treaty stating that no new land grabs can be made after 1961, both the U.S. and Russia continue to assert their right to make some claims in the future if they choose. This treaty breach would undoubtedly create tension in the South Pole. Now, with the relationship between the world's two great powers, the United States and China, in a dismal state, the ice cube neutrino could be the U.S.'s secret weapon. Or why else would they be building something so sophisticated so far away from everyone? Given the tension, mistrust, and poor communication between the two powers, a possibility of accidental escalation is very likely. It may not happen in the short and medium term, but the risk exists. Before the balloon incident, where a Chinese balloon was shot down over U.S. territory, both governments had shown a willingness to contain tensions. But since then, things have been happening, and this is a sign of a relationship with a lot of friction. However, the Pentagon is working on a new plan to rise above competition from China and Russia. Balloons again. The high-altitude inflatables, flying at between 60,000 and 90,000 feet, would be added to the Pentagon's extensive surveillance network and could eventually be used to track hypersonic weapons. Directed energy weapons, such as lasers, use energy fired at the speed of light. These weapons can produce force that ranges from deterrent to damaging to downright destructive. Many countries, including the U.S., are researching their use. Because they are using energy instead of bullets or missiles, directed energy weapons could be less expensive per shot and have virtually unlimited firing power. The U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force have all worked to develop various kinds of directed energy weapons. The most prominent are high-energy lasers, HEL, and high-power microwaves, HPM, weapons. Both weapons would, hypothetically, come with unlimited ammo pools and would be far cheaper to fire than conventional munitions. An interceptor designed to destroy a nuclear ballistic missile costs the U.S. $111 million. A laser that does the same thing would cost as much as it takes to generate the energy to fire it. The problem is that the Pentagon has no plan for consolidating these programs and actually deploying working weapons. For example, the acquisition community may require a higher level of technology maturity than the development community is able to produce. There are three main problems with the weapons: technological limitations, concern around battlefield use, and ethical and health concerns. The tech isn't mature, and the Pentagon is having trouble finding civilian contractors to help work on it. Both HEL and HPM are hard to power for long periods of time, for example, and laser-based weapons lose effectiveness in heavy fog or rain. The weapons are so new that the rules of engagement around them aren't clear. Microwave weapons affect such a wide area that they can indiscriminately hit civilian or allied targets in a battle. And then there are ethical concerns. No one is sure what the long-term effects of directed energy weapons would be on people who are intentionally or unintentionally exposed. Weapons firing lasers that can vaporize their targets are the stuff of science fiction and James Bond villains. It's also a military technology that American taxpayers are paying to develop today. The U.S. Department of Defense is spending roughly $1 billion a year to develop what is known in the trade as directed energy weapons. Whether such weapons are worth the money is an open question, and the answer likely depends on whom you ask. For defense contractors, of course, a new generation of powerful military hardware could provide vast new revenue streams. For the U.S. Armed Services, directed energy tech could mean stronger national security. Military experts argue that high-energy weapons have the potential to be more precise than traditional ammunition, minimizing unintended harm to civilians. Various branches of the United States military have conducted trials on directed energy weapons. For instance, the U.S. Air Force has created a powerful laser that can be attached to aircraft, and the Navy has experimented with lasers to counter drones and small watercraft. Militaries all over the world have been working on some form of directed energy weapon since the early 20th century. That's all on this video, Warheads. Thank you very much for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, share this video, and dive into the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to stay in the loop for more exciting content. This is your host signing off. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one.
Begin with a terrible reality sinking in after wildfires raced across Maui.
Let me back this up just to make darn sure. I don't. What you're watching here, I'm gonna back this up again, and I don't know if I had the mic on when I said it.
No.
But this is a directed energy weapon theory by the Weapons and Warheads channel that I happen to do voiceovers for. That was a really good primer, whatever you want to call it, on what directed energy weapons are, and how they're used and how they're deployed, and whether they do or do not exist. So I thought this was really good, and so I want you to watch that. Right. So.
Baby, come here.
All right. Yeah, we got our puppy cam there. That's Thorson. Thorson B. Winters.
Mr. Winters. Hi.
Yep.
Hi, buddy.
Thorson B. Good. Right. Okay. So ready? Let's go.
Begin with a terrible reality sinking in after wildfires raced across Maui.
Houses and businesses absolutely incinerated. Cars fused to the ground. Metal melted, yet green left on the trees. A directed energy weapon assault. The largest forest fire to hit the Hawaiian Islands. Over 100 people have died so far and counting. The before and after images reveal the real devastation that took place on the once dream island in the Pacific Ocean. Hawaiian officials are braced for a significant rise in the death toll from the fast-spreading wildfire, which caused absolute destruction on the island of Maui and wiped out most of the historic town of Lahaina. The fire destroyed many buildings, including the oldest hotel in Hawaii, the 122-year-old Pioneer Inn. Roughly about 90% of the damaged buildings of the town, home to 12,000 people, were residential buildings. The fire raced through the famously beautiful Front Street. The blaze ripped through the town so quickly that even some people had to jump into the harbor to escape the flames and smoke. Many people are asking the questions: where were the warning signs? What caused the Hawaiian wildfire? Wildfires were once uncommon in Hawaii, which were largely ignited only through eruptions or lightning strikes. But in recent decades, human activity has made them common and extreme. Climate change is one factor that the government is blaming this on. Governor Josh Green has said that the challenges of climate change were putting unprecedented strain on Hawaii. Or could it be something else? The culprit that has been circling the internet is DEW, Directed Energy Weapons. DEW, or Directed Energy Weapons, is being blamed by locals and others that were there during the fire. There has been several videos released on the internet showing large beams of light striking various objects, large explosions happening, other inexplicable events occurring that don't mimic normal wildfire behavior. If it were only these types of things happening, then so be it. But the strange facts don't stop there. Water was turned off, causing fire hydrants to be dry. Fire marshals were out of town. The mayor and governor were out of town. The sirens around the city didn't sound. The most robust and loudest emergency siren system in the world didn't work. People that were trying to evacuate were told to turn around and shelter in place. They wouldn't let people evacuate. Trucks that were working on power poles were strategically placed to cause bumper-to-bumper traffic, further slowing or stopping evacuation. The evidence doesn't stop there. There was a perfect circle of fire around Lahaina. Vehicles were melted to the ground, yet trees were still intact. They passed a new law that doesn't allow development on Hawaiian land unless a natural disaster happens. Insurance companies are refusing to pay policies due to some loopholes, which then allows billionaires to come in and buy property for next to nothing. Was this fire caused intentionally for a potential land grab worth billions? The worst affected area of the fire was Lahaina, the once capital of Hawaii before it became a part of the USA. It is full of native people, rich lands, and business owners, all of whom have previously refused to sell their properties to conglomerates such as BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and Oprah Winfrey's Harpo Productions. Many of the properties are in prime locations, such as on the oceanfront, and are considered valuable land worth millions, if not billions of dollars. Could these large investment companies, especially BlackRock, be behind this energy weapon attack? To open up more land for more money and power, to start a predatory land grab. The name BlackRock has created the most widespread stir as the firm handles the majority of the celebrity properties on the island, such as those of Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Lady Gaga, Bill Gates, Will Smith, Julia Roberts, and more. All of their properties have been unaffected by the fires, while the lands of the natives, even houses next to theirs, have been not only burned down, but absolutely incinerated. What exactly are these directed energy weapons? DEWs, or directed energy weapons, are defined as electromagnetic systems capable of converting chemical, electrical energy to radiated energy and focusing it on a specific target. This results in physical damage that degrades, neutralizes, defeats, or destroys the target. Another name for these weapons are simply laser weapon systems. Creators. Lockheed Martin is one of the developers of these directed laser weapon systems. They have successfully harnessed the power of these powerful lasers. At sea, in the air, and on the ground, Lockheed is having these systems defend the U.S. and allied forces. But in the hands of wrong people, or elites, can be used to terminate and destroy infrastructure across all domains, and unfortunately for Maui, domestic domains. They have successfully used laser defense systems to shoot down enemy missiles and will be used to protect the U.S. and other countries from the threat of hypersonic missiles that are becoming more prevalent. The Pentagon, DARPA, the Air Force Research Laboratory, United States Army Armament Research Development and Engineering Center, and the Naval Research Lab are researching directed energy weapons to counter ballistic missiles, hypersonic cruise missiles, and hypersonic glide vehicles. In 2019, the first documented use of these DEW was by Turkey. They claim that while in combat in Libya, they successfully used the ALK-8 directed energy weapon. All other countries have denied and stated their DEW are only in the experimental stages. Is this true? Or are these directed energy weapons fully up and running? This can easily be a black project that the US and other countries have under wraps. Technology is changing the way the world works, and it seems as new technology is developed, it is first used in combat and war. This has been the case over the course of history. Technological warfare is growing exponentially. Northrop Grumman has been in the laser technology game for the last 50 years. They've had advancements in their innovations and are turning science fiction into reality. They have officially installed a laser weapon system on the USS Portland. This weapon is a 150 kilowatt class laser that tracks targets and employs directed energy to stop and destroy hostile drones, small craft, and other threats. The Laser Weapon System Demonstrator, LWSD, is the most powerful electric high-energy laser system ever deployed on a U.S. Navy ship. The LWSD was installed back in 2019 and is able to withstand and operate in conditions of wind, waves, rain, and fog. These directed energy weapons are in use. They can be mounted on ships like the USS Portland, on vehicles such as tanks, and can even be used on aircraft. These powerful laser weapons are engineered for maximum performance, even in the harsh environments of subsonic and supersonic flight. These aircraft-mounted offensive solutions ensure true air dominance and are insanely accurate and reliable. The assault on Maui was most likely from an aircraft based off of the videos coming to light. It is a fact that the wildfire in Maui was devastating. The cause is currently under investigation and the truth may never be revealed. Do your own research on DEWs and on the fire that happened in Maui. From locals and tourists that experienced it firsthand, they have stated that there are too many events that didn't make sense. The possibility that a directed energy weapon assault is not ruled out. Till next time, warheads.
Until next time, warheads. That guy ain't got nothing up on me, man. Anyway, okay, so, right, hopefully, if you're watching this, you enjoyed that. You know, if you're watching this following the recording. Because currently we don't have anybody watching, but you know what? We do this because it's a labor of love, right? It is the Truth Slinger Project. I am your host, Truth Slinger, a.k.a. Tim, formerly known as Tim.
I'm having hair issues.
Yeah, and she's having hair issues. This is my hippie chick wife,
Hi.
Yennefer. So we're just hanging out on a Friday night, and we're talking about a bullshit story that happened in Maui. That global warming burned down Maui, right? The Lahaina.
Mm-hmm.
Second most expensive property in the entire world. Entire damn world. And they, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I got sound going on in the background of these things here. I forgot about them. Yep. So, see? I forgot all about that. So anyway, forgot about my soundboard. Mixing panel. So, so we're talking about like how ridiculous it was that there was no water. There were barricades everywhere, barricading the people in, and they were surrounded by a burning ring of fire and cars.
None of the real expensive homes got burned.
Nope, not a one. None of the billionaires' homes,
Right.
and they are billionaires.
Yeah. A lot
Being
of
a
them.
millionaire ain't nothing these days. These guys, people are billionaires. So Oprah and the douchebag Dwayne the Rock, Brockhead, Dickhead Johnson, donated $10 million and started a GoFundMe so that people like us could help Hawaii. And we looked it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can maybe show you the package after we go and look at the Alex Jones interview that we have scheduled. We're going to look at. And they get on there, and we did the calculation. She's worth how much again? 2.5
billion.
billion dollars.
Oprah.
And so $10 million sounded pretty damn impressive, right? You know, I mean, shit, if I gave $10 million, hell, it'd bust my ass. Because I don't have $10 million.
Yeah.
Right? But if I had $50 million, I wouldn't want to give like fucking 20% of my income. You understand what I'm saying? Still, that would hurt. I could probably get to doing it, but I think once I get to that point, 50 mil, I'd probably give away, 20 of it. But to make the 30. But no. That's not how much $10 million is of 2.5. If you take out your little handy dandy calculator there,
No.
what you're gonna find, huh?
We did this already.
Yeah. Well, we did it already, and imagine that. It's like in the oven when you open the oven and then the pre-cooked ravioli comes out, whatever. 0.04%. It's 0.004, so it's 0.4%.
Right.
Right? 0.4%. To you and me, on $100,000, that's $400.
Wow.
Hang on a second. Talk to them. I gotta let the dog out.
What if I don't want to talk to them?
Yeah, so tell them about the Alex Jones. Tell them about Stu. We never watched Stu before.
All right. So I don't know much about Stu Peters. I think he's a little controversial. So let me look up about him. Stu Peters is an American far-right, alt-right online personality and a former bounty hunter. Let's see. Oh, the ADL doesn't like him, but they don't like anybody. Let's see. He's known for promoting COVID misinformation. Oh, this is according to Wikipedia, of course. Okay. He has an online show called The Stu Peters Show. So we're going to show a clip of that show where he is interviewing Alex Jones to see what Alex Jones has figured out about Maui. Because Alex Jones is like, he's more right than he's been wrong. That's for darn sure. Yep. All right, let's see. Stu Peters launched a show in 2020 commenting on criminality and related topics. He's also Christian, and as I said, the ADL doesn't like him, but they don't like anybody.
Who's the ADL?
The Defamation League, Anti-Defamation League. I don't understand the whole Jew thing. I don't know. I shouldn't say anything. I guess we're not supposed to talk about Jews, and just saying that we're not supposed to talk about Jews is anti-Semitic. So I don't know. I love the Jews, so.
So you're a Zionist, are you?
I don't know.
You support Israel, right?
Sure.
Israel's right to exist.
Yo, of course.
Damn, you damn Zionist, you.
What?
You're a damn Zionist.
Wow.
That's what you are.
That does look like one camera, the way you do that.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good together.
That's weird. Because it's like I could see you walk in there and walk over there.
Oh,
Seamless.
yeah, was it pretty seamless?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, well, they're right about at the exact same viewpoint. They're just one's a little lower than the other, slightly lower. Yeah, and then we're tinted differently because my love did not like the color of her vampiric skin. So I messed around with the thing, and so
my Hispanic darkness.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome. If you just joined us, if you choose to not be bashful, say hi in the chat. John Carroll, hey. The cameras we use, gosh, hang on, LTC. Yeah, LTC. And they're pretty good under low light conditions. Wasn't very expensive. I think I got them off of Amazon, right? Mm-hmm. The only thing they're a little pain in the ass is they're robotic and they got a remote. You always got it. They always come on auto. And so they're constantly moving around trying to track you, and you got to always turn that off. So not impressed with that feature. But the video is pretty good. Yeah, the auto balance, like I turn off the white balance right now because I got all the lights playing around in the back. Normally I run the white balance and it looks a little bit more even. But,
We also have Starlink.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh, technology. Oh my God, dude.
We've leveled up a lot.
We leveled up, man. I'm 60 and she's less. Much
What
less.
does that have to do with Starlink?
And Starlink. Oh no, leveled up on Starlink. No, yeah, Starlink is awesome. No, I'm talking about leveled up as far as learning technology, old dogs, new tricks, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not very easy, but this thing finally I got this stupid boom, man. I put the boom in. It looks badass as shit, but it's kind of a little flaky sometimes. But as long I figured now that I don't move it around, it seems to keep working. But I got to kind of figure the trick of how to touch it. It's a touch thing, and it's crazy. But yeah, man. Well, oh God, we started. We hadn't. I got off a PC for 5 years. Now I started with a TRS-80, man. And for for 5 years, man, we moved out in the woods, and man, I didn't touch nothing but a phone, and I let her run the phone most of the time. And so yeah, man. And then we said finally, like last November, I was going nuts, and that's when I just decided, we just need to go ahead and pull the trigger on a PC. And I tell you, man, it's been great. It's been a great ride. We've had so much fun. We've grown so fast and so much. Sometimes it felt like drinking from a fire hose, especially when we started. God, man, just trying to look up what stuff do I need to do a podcast. Oh shit, you'll be running in circles for like we were for days.
Yeah,
It wasn't it wasn't as obvious of a question as you would have thought it was, because there's a whole podcast and then video, the pre-record versus not pre-record, live stream, this, that, and the other thing, and then there's overlap between all the software, and wow. So anyway, welcome. We are talking about tonight, to kind of continue with the flow of the program. I just showed a couple of packages. One of them that I did on a directed energy weapon that we have hidden at the South Pole. And it's a big old, apparently, a research telescope, neutrino telescope, okay? Except that it has the ability to reverse the flow and pump out 2,000 volts through each of these cells. And it's like 4 feet under the ground in the ice, buried in the ice. And so it made an earthquake apparently in New Zealand. The thing is powerful. They bounce it off the stratosphere, right? So so then I did that, and I do these voiceovers on the Warheads and Weapons channel, and I played the second one, which you can see, called Hawaii Fire. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, can you? Yeah, at the end of it. The one that we just played, the Hawaiian fire did $1 billion damage, and the suspicion is that it was a directed energy weapon for a whole lot of reasons.
In Maui.
Yeah, in Maui, the Lahaina fire. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which doesn't, the place doesn't exist anymore. All the billionaires' homes survived, and the boats in the middle of the damn water,
burning,
all burnt.
Fire hydrants empty.
Fire hydrants dry. Electricity never turned off. And everybody went home apparently sick that day.
All the people out of town.
Everybody was out of town, sick, on vacation, visiting somebody else. Some bullshit like that. So, and then we found out that Oprah, the dumb witch, is donated $10 million of her own money. Isn't that sweet of her? And encourages you and me to go send money into GoFundMe for Maui. She's a billionaire. Net worth $2.5 billion.
Right.
That's 0.04% of her wealth. So it was a land grab.
Yep.
BlackRock's involved. It's ugly. So can you cue me up so that I can get into the history? This stew.
Can you get it in Twitter?
Oh, yeah. I got a Twitter window right there.
It's in Twitter. It's the most, well, let me yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yep. It's the most recent one on Twitter.
Yeah, right there. See? Look at that.
There you go.
All right, the most recent one. Up top. Let's go.
No, you gotta hit refresh.
Oh, all right. Wait, where is it? Look.
Go to the top.
I will in a minute.
Oh.
But first, I want to...
Oprah.
I'll show John what I was talking about. Oh, John's gone. He went away. He asked me what kind of camera I had, and he left. But I know he's probably still there. The YouTube, see the concurrent viewer. Sometimes this drops off and comes back.
This is one watching now. It's always saying one watching now when I look at it.
Does it? All right.
And I'm watching.
All right.
Even when John was on, though.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah. So where are we? Oh yeah, this stupid woman.
It has been so extraordinary to see how people have shared their mana and shared themselves and
Shared their
just
mana.
opened up in a way that
What is that
we've never
music in the
experienced
background?
before.
So it is how we interact with each other.
Oh, it's the listen to this music. Hang on. Let me go back again.
It has been so extraordinary to
It's like
Sounds like James
how pathetic is this? Listen to this.
see how people have shared their mana and shared themselves and just opened up in a way that we've never experienced before.
So it is how we interact with each other and love one another that shows through in everyone.
We just finished one of several meetings.
lady was
because
a
we've
useful
been meeting
idiot.
with community leaders for the past couple of weeks and just trying to figure out what we could do.
Yeah.
And I was sent a message about Dolly Parton's fund that she started for the people of Gatlinburg.
When is Frank Sinatra or Perry fucking Como gonna waltz in, man, in this video? I mean, that music. Who picked that music?
I don't know.
Right? Some elite, out of touch, stupid ass cheese ball. Right? And then you got The Rock over here grinning his ass off like a monkey, a trained fucking monkey.
Watch it.
I'm sorry. And I'm not talking because I don't even consider the guy black, dude.
I know.
I don't. I look at him as far as I'm concerned. If I saw that guy
I know
walking
Roseanne
down
got in trouble and she didn't know that the lady was black.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, okay, go ahead. So I'll get canceled, right? Both of my current viewers will no longer be able to see me anymore. I mean, God. So anyway, let these people, so fucking tone deaf, right? But like I said, listen, they are lying through their fucking teeth. These people are sociopath, psychopathic sons of bitches that were in cahoots with the federal government. Now, you think about this. Billionaire, private, elite citizens told the fucking government what to do. And they took their little plane with their little woo laser shit, okay, microwave emitter, and went and burned a big circle all the way around Lahaina. And then made everybody turn around and go back into the middle of the damn fire pit. And then they're going to stand there now after and look you dead in the eye and tell us it was our fucking fault
Right.
because of climate change, and we got to pony up now and help these poor fuckers over there, okay, who most of them are dead. Fucking dead, man. Okay? And the kids,
How many
entire
are
schools.
missing? We don't have any
We don't have any
numbers.
other numbers. There's still a blackout over there. They won't say shit. But yet here, they want you to give your mana. Right? They want you to get in and dig deep, man. Because, you know, that fucking SUV you've been driving around fucked up the planet, burned them poor people to death. Oh, mother of God, man.
When there was a tragedy and fire in Gatlinburg, and she called it the People's Fund, actually my People's Fund she called it, where money was sent directly to each individual. And this idea all started because of Dolly. Thank you, Dolly.
Hey, D-Dog.
Thank you, Dolly. Because
D-Dog.
when I sent that to Dwayne and he said, this sounds good. You mean we could put money directly into the hands of the people?
Doesn't it, Dwayne?
And we've been having
Look.
a meeting every day since that moment.
Look, Dwayne. Look, Dwayne, we're going to be able to put money into the hands of the people. More than that little paltry $700 the government gave them. No, we're going to give them like $10 million, and then we're going to raise another $5 off the backs of hardworking people. That'll be $15 million. Guess what? Did you know they've been trying to buy the damn property in the middle of Lahaina, which is the second most expensive property on the face of the earth?
Yep.
And the locals that had these shops there generations long said no. And one of them turned down $100 million. But now they're going to all get to split up $15 million. Gee whiz, isn't that great? People need to be hung.
This tragedy took place, and the idea was, what can we do?
How do we help? How do we
help? What do we do? Can we create something? Do we
John said hi
support
to you.
something that's already in place? In this time of need, you want to take care of the greatest need of the people.
Thank you, John.
And that's
probably bitching.
We have put $10 million to start the fund of our own money.
Of our own money, $10 million of our
in Michigan, right? I think.
Yeah.
What?
$10 million of our own money. Boy, how deep did she need to dig? Right? $10 million is probably her first quarter operating expenses for her staff.
Or interest.
Or whatever the hell. And her monthly wine consumption.
All right, let's move on. Let's watch the other.
The other Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Where's it at? I got to refresh. All right, I hate those people. So yeah, they burned them all out. They said, and then this is all, and now it's gonna be, all they want is enough Hawaiians around. You know, the ones that look like they could put some skirts on them and, you know, make them cook the pigs and the luau's and stuff. So no, because now they're gonna build a freaking golf course, more mansions and all this stuff, and then they want the locals to serve them. It'll be so quaint. It'll be beautiful. Right? All right. What are we looking at here? Where is it at?
All right. Go under Twitter. Oh, that's it. Is that it?
Is this it?
I can't see.
Yeah, the burnt. Yeah, I think this is it. But it's just 3 minutes, 40 seconds?
That's not it. What are you
Oh, that's done it. The more pissed I get because the kids
go
from
into
this.
Twitter and hit refresh.
I just did hit refresh. I think. All right, I hit refresh again. All right, I'm going to hit refresh. Relax. Everybody relax.
That's it with Jesse. That's the Stu Peters show.
Okay. Let's put this on and we can talk about it.
After the deadly Maui fires, many of the missing children. The Hawaii Electric Company was negligent with their downed power lines and are now involved in a cover-up. Water held back from firefighters. Roads were even blocked, trapping Americans inside the inferno.
It was a firestorm.
I know what.
There was tornadoes of ash the size of charcoal from a barbecue, like being thrown by baseball players. I'm ducking behind walls. I had to kick in the door at Bubba Gump's. 80 people and the ocean was on fire. Firefighter told me because the first layer of ash causes the seal. And then the next layer of ash was all the embers.
Good luck. Look at this. Holy shit. This is a nightmare.
See all those boats on fire?
I don't know where he's going. Probably to block our street. They're going to barbecue all these people down in Lahaina. We're all trapped down in here. They're blocking off all exits. And
Blocking off all
everyone is
exits.
just stuck. Going in a circle in a fire pit.
There was a police barricade blocking the street so people couldn't get out. But the people trying to escape in those cars that you see burnt, they were blockaded. The water was shut off. Firefighters couldn't find us. The local people couldn't save their own homes. School was canceled that day. You had children, our KPs, and
Yeah, total
elderly
bitch. You ain't kidding.
trapped in the homes.
Can anyone truly explain how cars are incinerated in this type of way?
Yeah, this type of
That
way.
A natural fire can literally cremate every single thing in its supposed path.
Like, no way.
The glass is just melted. Yeah, it was ripping. This is almost what you would see if you put a car in an incinerator. But this is not surrounded by a bunch of structure fires or anything.
Yeah, there's no fuel.
So besides the gas that was in the tank, what's your theory on what could create temperatures of this level in the middle of a field?
No way.
Anomaly, I think is the word.
So this is the second anomaly.
Yeah, it's just, that's why I stopped. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, house.
I'm a physicist, man. That doesn't happen.
Melted steel and glass.
And not to mention, I'm a combustion expert.
Is the thick steel frame.
It's what I did for a living.
Yep.
This ain't right.
How many coincidences is just too many? How many more before it stops being a coincidence and starts being a legitimate, bona fide, murderous conspiracy? If you aren't asking yourself these questions after the Maui fires, then I'm sorry, but you're a damn fool.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, half of one of America's most famous island paradises, a favorite of the wealthy elite, just gets burned down. Out of nowhere, we have the deadliest U.S. fire in a century, maybe even 150 years. And incredibly, almost as if planned, every single act of incompetence that could possibly happen does happen. No cause of that fire is ever named or even suggested. 2 weeks after the fire, they're still slow rolling this death toll.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if you know this or not. There are still officially about 300 people missing. That's officially, in addition to the 115 official deaths. And who are we kidding?
This is some of the best reporting I've heard on this in a while.
Yeah.
5 years ago, in 2018, the World Economic Forum put out a rather inconvenient article.
How long has it been now?
In that article, the World Economic Forum boasted that Hawaii would become the first state to run entirely on clean energy. The World Economic Forum has also bragged about the chance to create a smart city. Guess where?
Right.
Maui.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Local Maui residents were given no warning about what was happening. One of the most advanced warning systems, the massive siren network that island has to warn against disasters, which could have saved hundreds or even thousands of lives of innocent children, instead went silent and completely unused.
Didn't work. Didn't work.
One of Hawaii's top water officials refused to give landowners access to water supplies to contain the fire while it was still small.
Yeah, like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
So yeah, we have questions.
Horrible.
A lot of questions. And there's more questions, a whole lot more questions. As one ultra-viral video on Twitter asked, how does Lahaina end up almost perfectly surrounded by a circular ring of fire as if it was in the Johnny Cash song?
Right. Exactly.
Ring of fire, yeah.
How did boats sitting offshore end up catching on fire as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Just the boats catching on fire. Boats, burning boats. Look at that, man. What is that? What's the deal, man? A damn circle.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's just wrong.
All of this. Everything that you just saw. Flammable water, the water on fire. A perfect circular ring of fire. Fire rolling across pavement. Fire burning down everything except for what's blue, All of this is supposed to be about some
what's blue?
random drought plus some
we're going
windstorm.
to learn more about that.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
There's videos circulating all over the internet showing bright flashes in the sky. Eyewitnesses on the ground there in Lahaina, in Maui, have described seeing flashes and explosions all over the landscape. It just doesn't add up. So we are going to go on the record. This wasn't a natural fire that just grew out of control. This was an attack by a directed energy weapon. Our own government basically
I wouldn't doubt it.
set up
I
a
wouldn't
heat
doubt it
wave
at all,
and used it
D-Dog.
to ignite a huge blaze to wage war on its own people. Now, why would they do that? You might say, Stu, what would be the motive for our government to kill innocent people, including children?
Yeah. Right.
Lots of reasons.
That's the thing.
One, because it's evil.
They sent all the kids home from school.
Our elite are evil psychopaths.
Yeah, see, that's the whole thing, We talk about this together, all right? I got to find the live streaming thing. There it is. We talk about this before.
You're not on.
These people, they can hear me.
Oh, yes.
Of course I'll turn my camera back
I
on.
can always hear you.
Yeah, we talk about this when, people are on a jury because we like to watch jury trials and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're really into that kind of stuff too. Let me get my camera back on here. And so you always run into these people in the jury interview, and you hear people say, or in these crime shows that we see, the package that and they go, I just can't. I said to myself, why in the world? Who in the world would do something like that? Well, a fucking psychopath, you dumbass.
Right.
Right? This is obviously. Have you ever been sitting in trial for murder? No, because you don't think like a murderer. So it's like those people are just the stupidest, But this is the same kind of thing. Here is this this refusal to believe anything, and I had this problem for the longest time. I was married to I'd say a psychopath, wouldn't you? Yes. Dangerous woman.
Yes.
And I had the hell of a time figuring it out because I just assumed everybody was like me. They had feelings and shit. But no, right? Conscience and stuff. No. Some people, I think, the Bible says people get seared consciences. I think some son bitches don't have no consciences to begin with. Mm-hmm. They're just wired wrong, man. And these people, they're capable of burning down an island because it's the most popular, best shit on the world. And they go, well, we're the most powerful people in the world. We want it. Well, why would they do something like that? Well, why the fuck not? Right? Exactly. Why wouldn't you? Greed. Right? If you have unlimited power, right, then what happens is if you have no fucking soul and you have no God, right, you just chase the next fucking thrill. I've been there, right? Anybody who's been addicted to anything, right, in the flesh understands that you're always chasing the dragon, right? And you go for the next bigger high, right? So first you start smoking the crack, right? I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Hunter. Hunter. Okay? Hunter.
Oh, Hunter.
That motherfucker. Then he's got to start smoking crack while banging someone.
Oh, God.
Right. No, right. I mean, that's the next evolution.
Right.
And I mean, hey,
And then take pictures
tell
of
me
it.
you and I didn't at one time talk about like when we did a whip it or two back 20 years ago and go, wouldn't it be, during.
Family.
No, I know. I understand. But what I'm saying is, people, you go for the next thing, right? You put the two things together, right? And when you have unlimited resources, right, and you're a billionaire and you can have anything you fucking want, think about how twisted these people's minds and souls become. They become demigods. Do you understand? And they think that they're fucking smart. Whoops. They think, well, fuck it. They think they're smarter than everyone.
It's
And
so
they,
hard
then
to
they,
believe.
huh?
It's so hard to believe. I mean,
I know that's what I'm saying is we all struggle.
but there's so many kids missing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
85,000 at the border.
Well, yes, 85,000 the human trafficking. That's when, first, a couple of years ago, we started hearing, what's with all this people obsessed with the pedophilia? I mean, I know it's out there, and I know there are registries, and you got to watch where you live because there's a little red dots all around you anywhere because there are perverts everywhere. And now, today, it's even normalized. But that isn't what this is, okay? This is the human trafficking, okay? And then you start learning about, well, where are they all going, right? Who's buying? Look, I imagine that buying a human being's not particularly cheap.
Oh my God.
I've never looked into it.
How would you trust anyone to do to be? I don't.
Man, so anyway, right? So somebody's buying these people, right? The kids, right? The Wayfair cabinets, right? Who the hell do you think would be the ones that would be ultimately the ones that would be into the most kinkiest shit you could possibly imagine? Oh, I don't know. The people who run around in the devil stuff on stage and tell you who they are. And the people that, like Oprah, that get on and go, oh, Jesus Christ. What do you mean, Jesus Christ? So who he said, he's an idiot. I don't know if you remember that thing, okay?
Yeah.
These people are fucking Satanists,
What about
people.
Jesus? Yeah.
Okay, they are. Absolutely, they are, right? So, it's like, once you start stacking the bricks on top of each other, and you start to climb each rung and look at each thing, and then you say to yourself, well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Right, of course. And then there's this whole adrenochroming thing, right?
Oh my God.
Oh, I mean, how sick and shit does that have to be to torture a child, to kill him and then suck the juices out of him so that you could use it for your own pleasure, milking a
All right,
piece of
back
fruit.
on with Stu?
Yeah, okay. Well, but yeah, exactly. It's exactly. Well, I know it's horrible, but then people don't want to do. They want to just turn away from it, and they don't want to believe in it, right? So
they are murderous heathens. They are descendants of Satan himself.
Well, see, I just told you so.
Because it clears the slate to reconstruct that entire island on World Economic Forum lines.
Yep.
And 3, maybe the most sinister of all of them. Because a fire is the perfect cover to abduct children and report them missing.
See?
While they're sold off to pedophiles across the planet.
Right. There you go. There you go. He said it, right? Not to mention, when you got grandparents in the Ukraine now signing up to fight, and they're being drafted to fight in the damn war, because all the, parents are dead.
Right.
Of all the children. Can you imagine
How many children?
the human trafficking source?
Wow.
The orphans generated in a war? I can't wrap my mind around it, man. Can't wrap my mind around it. So, all right, let's keep watching.
Remember, directed energy weapons are not some made-up woo-woo bullshit. No, they absolutely exist. The military uses them, and they brag about it. The police use them, and they brag about it. So why wouldn't a government already at war with its own people use directed energy weapons as a weapon in that war?
Right, why wouldn't they? These are the questions we need to be asking. Not why would they? Why wouldn't they at this point to restructure the world because they're so damn smart?
Alex Jones requires no introduction, but you know what? We're going to give him one anyways. Why? Because Alex Jones is a global pioneer in uncensored, unfiltered, dissident media. Without Alex Jones, I'll just say it, there would be no Stu Peters. Without InfoWars, there would be no Stu Peters Network. There would quite plausibly be no President Donald Trump. Alex Jones is the voice that outraged the elite so much that they made an unprecedented effort to shut him down, to harass him, to silence him. Every single method of canceling someone in American life was first used on Alex Jones. He was the first person to be systematically purged off of YouTube and Facebook and other major social media websites years before the same methods were used on people like Donald Trump.
Do believe any more of these.
This regime, this murderous corporate crime syndicate, has used some of the most corrupt court proceedings in the history of the world to tear apart Alex Jones's life. He's been hit with legal judgments totaling $1 billion with a B dollars, and lunatics have talked about whether it should be $1 trillion with a T.
What Tater did.
But for Alex Jones, there is no greater endorsement than this. He drives the world's most evil and power-hungry individuals completely insane.
Oh.
They simply can't handle him. They are positively obsessed with taking Alex Jones out, and they have failed. Alex Jones is still speaking. He is still outraging elites, and he's still driving them into fits, and that's how it will always be.
Well, Stu, it's great to be here with you, and I apologize to you yesterday on my show because we know they didn't cut the trees. We know they cut off the water. We know they'll let the power on. We know that was part of it, but once I saw the footage that locals shot that I interviewed, where you have a car with no grass burned, no trees, hundreds of yards away from fires, and all these cars are burned, and then what you said's true, anything blue didn't burn. I didn't know that baby blue bounces lasers off. I guess that's a well-known thing that's been demonstrated. And we know that that's one of the main bases. The second largest base in the U.S. for directed energy weapons is Maui. And I looked at it, and it's just overwhelming that it wasn't power lines alone that did this. Then the cover-up, putting up black tarp all around it, kicking media out. Locals are being thrown out of their own homes. They're keeping people back 12 miles. This is the model of what they want to do. And with drones, they can launch the DC-10s. Well, that's an old plane, but that's what they mainly use, an old fleet of those, and C-130s that are loaded with these huge chemical lasers that one plane could burn down Maui in minutes. And so that's the only thing that could do this. And now I agree with you that clearly this has been used because we know, again, that lasers bounce off of blue and to a certain extent white, but mainly blue, and most lasers do. And so you were on my show yesterday. We were showing all the footage of a house with a blue top right next to everything else is burned. It's not. A blue car not burned. T-shirts in burned down houses. The T-shirt's totally fine. It wasn't regular heat. And from the directed energy weapon research I've done, which I've done previous for decades, I mean, I know about the technology. It's not so much a laser beam, but a microwave that basically fluxes. And so anything metal, they can fry. And so this is a big day, and it's a microcosm, just like California wouldn't cut the trees in poor areas, but also a lot of evidence of directed energy weapons. They're beta testing this to be able to take full control. And as Catherine Austin Fitts, former high-level Clinton official, said, she tracked the maps in the summer of peace and mostly peaceful protest, where all over the country they would direct Antifa. We got some of their documents on what businesses to burn, and it was all the companies and businesses that wouldn't sell out. So they got a lot of ways to do this. And the good news is, thanks to you and many others, but you're at the tip of the spear here.
Mic off for a little bit.
People are not buying this. I'd say 99% of the comments online, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, YouTube, you name it, are not buying what happened in Maui. So I think their tests there of what they wanted to do is blow up their face. Unfortunately, we got a lot of dead people, and the cover-up is in full swing right now. So this is a big story.
Possibly more dead people or equal to the 9/11 inside job that we could talk about for hours. Obviously, Alex Jones is our guest. You had a TSA whistleblower that we want to get to here after the break, because, I mean, this is a story that you should be patting yourself on the back for. And then automatically, after you blow this whole thing up, they respond almost immediately. But, you know, when we're looking at this DEW attack, this is a directed energy weapon attack. There's really no other explanation. 99% of the people online, you're right, they say that this is complete BS. This is not what happened. This isn't some wildfire just rolling across pavement. So when you're investigating a crime, which is something that I've done, you know, for 15 years as a bounty hunter, when cops are investigating a crime, first of all, motive is the big thing. So what's the motive? Why is our government at war with its people?
I've seen different numbers of 5.1, 5.8 billion. This is the second most expensive real estate in the world. A bunch of blue collar people own it for hundreds of years. A whaling station, you know, the center of the Hawaiian culture. It's where their flag comes from, right there in Lahaina. And they tried to make them sell. They offered them $50 million for like an acre of lot, $100 million, they wouldn't sell. One of my favorite places to visit is Lahaina. And I've talked to locals. We're not selling. 100+ billionaires have moved in. They're trying to get them to sell. They won't sell. So they don't trim the trees for 5 years when BlackRock owns it. They leave the power on, but that wasn't enough. And as soon as I saw the Washington Post say, oh, it's power lines, I was like, well, wait, I thought it was power lines, but now you're saying that. And then I saw the footage that locals shot, hours long, where, again, you're hundreds of yards away from burned buildings by the beach, and there's no burned grass, and all these cars are fried. John. And the grass is still around the car. People, only microwave directed energy weapons do that. So I've done the research on it. But I was like, well, it's much easier just to leave the power lines on and not trim things. But that wasn't enough. They used that as the cover.
Like the Bilderberg
And then they said in the Washington Post, the New York Times, oh, they didn't trim the power lines. But once I saw that and remembered all the research I'd done, I was like, I guess Peters is right, because again,
but
folks,
Alex Jones
I showed it on my show yesterday. I don't know if you're going to roll any of that footage, but for people that haven't seen it, I've interviewed the locals that are well-known that live there. They went and shot it. 200 yards in some cases, trees, grass, everything's fine, and just fried cars. That does not happen from a fire, folks. The only thing that does that is directed energy weapons.
I mean, it's a big deal. One of the first questions that I asked this Dr. Robert Malone, the alleged inventor of this mRNA technology, was if they wanted to kill us, why wouldn't they just kill us, right? I mean, and now they have escalated into, well, we're just going to kill you. Not only you, but we're going to kill your children. We're going to leave them trapped inside of their homes. We're going to kill them. We're going to sound no alarm. Why are they doing it? Why are they at war with us? Why is our own government openly declaring physical kinetic warfare against us?
Because the globalists took over the world through fractional reserve banking and fraud. They gave themselves quadrillions. They really believe they own everything. So if you show up at home in your pantry and your wheat or your corn or your food is filled with weevils, you kill them. And they say, we own the earth, we took control, survival of the fittest, you're here, we need that power to get rid of you. So they're going to use weather weapons, they're going to use directed energy, they're going to use viruses, and they're going to blame it all on global warming. Notice, Stu, the narrative.
We are on Pregnant Kitty Watch.
From Bill Gates.
That's what you see there in the first window. That's
Al Gore,
Benji.
And
she's
AOC
pregnant.
and Beto. Because
with
they're
child.
ending the world as we know it. They're
That'll
cutting
make 4,
off the energy.
and that'll
They're
be
cutting
enough.
off the oil and gas. They're cutting off the fertilizer. They're doing the global lockdowns and then blaming it on a virus out of the jungle because global warming, it's our fault. No, they produced the virus. So they are literally creating a post-industrial world that is the UN treaty from 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, Agenda 2020. And we're now in the middle of Agenda 2030, the depopulation, where they attack us with all these systems and then tell us it's our fault, we're dying. And for a normal person like you or I, we want to kill people. We don't want to hurt people.
The Maui Fund.
But if you look at history, the Hitler, the Stalins, the Maos, this is their move. And so we have to recognize that indeed they're doing it. And they've covered up Lahaina, they've covered up Maui, they've covered up everything else they're doing. And
still
that
covering
is
it up.
The added icing on the cake of what they've done. But the good news is, as you said earlier, people are waking up and they're not buying the official story. So it's all a raw exercise of power, because if they can barbecue the people in Lahaina, they can do it to everybody.
One of the people that seems to be waking up, President Donald Trump. Alex Jones is our guest. Guess what? Lockdowns. Donald Trump has a message for the globalists that want to do that. After the break, we'll be right back.
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to believe that somebody's got the mindset that they could possibly do something like that, you know? But yet they do.
But you know that holster company that I've been working with
Holsters.
for the past 4 months?
I like the guy's voice.
Yeah, even though they're legally allowed to purchase it, Amazon, Google, and Facebook just banned it for sale to more than 7.7 million Americans who live in a certain state. Now, the good news is they can't stop me or us from getting it in their hands, or in your hands, for that matter. Now, crazy enough, the reason that it was banned is because to $10,000 in free silver.
Proof for yourself on Free Powers Act. Remember 2002, they wanted to have forced inoculation nationwide for smallpox?
Is imminent. Imminent. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if, but when there's going to be a chemical or biological attack on the American people. And what is their solution, they say? give up our rights, submit to Big Brother.
Look how
the
young
same
he is,
thing
man.
Hitler did in 33 when he
Crazy.
said, the
Been doing this
Jews,
for a
the
long
blah, blah,
time.
blahs, they're going to blow something up if I don't take full command and round people up and suspend and set up checkpoints and issue license and papers.
That during the Model States Health Emergency Powers Act, remember 2002, they wanted to have forced inoculation nationwide for smallpox, and it came out in news articles that, oh yeah, the feds are going to use sports stadiums and postal offices as the centers where if you refuse to be inoculated, you'll be taken and be held, but will also forcibly inoculate if we're given the orders at these injection facilities. I mean, Rockefeller study envisions future dictatorship controlled by elite. Millions being killed, mandatory quarantines, checkpoints, the end of the family, everything that's in the other documents, but this dovetails with all the other Rockefeller Foundation documents about the GMO food to sterilize you and the forced vaccines and the hell we're already living in that's just going to continue to intensify until we take our governments back from these eugenics madmen. And, of course, they want to do it by stealth. Oh, get your flu shot. Oh, you know, half of you'll never have kids. The other half will have reduced. See, it's got to be soft kill. It can't hit everybody or it'd be too noticeable. But they're testing how much they can get away with right now. You know, they want to hit those babies in the womb. Kind of like the UN programs worldwide where they only want to help the pregnant women. They come give them shots, and they all have miscarriages on the spot, and they send armed troops to enforce the injections. And that's what America's turning into as well. Its 1968 yearly report, the Rockefeller Foundation acknowledged funding the development of so-called anti-fertility vaccines and the implementation of mass scale.
Everybody's a bunch of followers in this country. When are we going to stand up? When are we going to affect change?
The only chance we've got of beating this scientific dictatorship, this creeping death that takes its time to incrementally enslave you, mentally, psychologically, physically, spiritually. The only way
I want to take this right here and put some zip ties around
to
it,
defeat it is for the rank and file of this planet to realize that you have a choice to make on what your destiny is going to be. Win, lose, or draw, you need to choose a side.
For, you know, this my second view on me. Maybe it'll be I don't know what it'll be.
Welcome back to a special edition of the Stu Peters Show live with Alex Jones. He's been right. You know, the famous meme of yours, Alex, all over the internet all the time. Hashtag Alex Jones was right. You've been right about so many things. You were right about lockdowns. You've been right about mask mandates. You've been right about the vaccine. You've been at the tip of the spear so that we are, you know, we're kind of just following your lead here. You created Dissident Media. And so, you know, speaking of dissidents, there's been a lot of dissidents to the whole COVID, you know, pandemic, obviously, as people are starting to wake up. They're starting to see what's going on with these shots. Finally, after Died Suddenly wins an award, by the way, you know, and so we now have been, you know, kind of pressuring Trump, at least on my program and throughout the network. The narrative has been, hey, you got to stop pushing these shots. You've got to stop pushing these shots. These shots are responsible for millions of deaths. You've got to stop it. I can't explain why he continues to do that. But he just came out. Your crew has a clip here of President Donald Trump talking about the lockdowns and how he said that he will respond when he retakes the White House. Can you guys roll that clip?
The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants that are coming. Gee whiz, you know what else is coming? An election. They want to restart the COVID hysteria so they can justify more lockdowns, more censorship, more illegal drop boxes, more mail-in ballots, and trillions of dollars in payoffs to their political allies heading into the 2024 election. Does that sound familiar? These are bad people. These are sick people we're dealing with. But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take away our freedom, hear these words: we will not comply. So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandates. And we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates. They rigged the 2020 election, and now they're trying to do the same thing all over again by rigging the most important election in the history of our country, the 2024 election, even if it means trying to bring back COVID. But they will fail because we will not let it happen. When I'm back in the White House, I will use every available authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation system
that imposes a mask mandate or a
what he's
vaccine
gonna
mandate.
do when he gets into
Thank you very
office
much.
and cut funding.
Wow. So
for
there's,
anybody
I
that's
mean,
gonna take
there's
mask
President Trump
mandates or
saying some
anything
pretty
like
strong
that.
words. What do you think the epiphany was here?
We know he's the real deal, in my view, and he's under attack. He made a lot of mistakes. He said, I didn't know how evil it was. Now I know how it works. And I'm not getting into inside baseball, but the biggest thing I've asked him to do, and I know you've done this as well, like nobody else do, you deserve the credit for this, your audience. We said, listen, you're good on everything else, trying to stop World War III, trying to control the border, trying to get jobs back, trying to stop the fentanyl, trying to secure the dollar, take care of the vets, but you keep going along with their BS. Sure, he said we shouldn't have lockdowns. Sure, he said we shouldn't have mandates, but you got to come all the way out against it.
But he locked the country down.
Sorry, go ahead.
He locked the country down, right? I mean, so the buck stops with you. You're the president. So you were lied to by Deborah Birx, the scarf wearer, and Tony Fauci, the mass murderer. You were lied to by the HHS and the NIH. You were lied to by the FDA and the CDC. But the buck stops with you. You're the president of the United States. You made the call to lock down the country.
Exactly. We will forgive you. None of us are perfect if you say you're wrong. This is, I'd say, halfway step towards what he needs to do. This is a big deal. And because we got the whistleblower,
yeah, man.
And I launched it 2 weeks ago, and I had no idea that 5 hours after I announced it, they would do the full rollout, because it was, every channel, everything. Oh, we need masks. Oh, school shut down. Oh, hospitals. And my source, the first source, and I made other calls and confirmed it, said, well, we're told middle of September they're going to bring back masks for TSA, and then they're going to have a new shot. No one knew that. And they still followed the script a week after I said it and said, September 15th, the new shot's ready. So that added super credibility because, of course, it was real. They were telling my federal source, who's a manager, high level, this was coming. So this was just perfect timing. None of it's my credit. People say, oh, Alex.
Man, I showed earlier a couple of mask factories. One of them is in, like, I don't know, Philippines or something. And where the hell was the other one? I mean, these people, man, are like sewing masks and shit and folding them up and working sitting on the floor. Oh my God. Dirty, filthy conditions, man. And then that's the same damn mask you grab when you go in the doctor's office and they go, ooh, put one of these on. It's totally disgusting.
It's biggest scoop. How'd you know this? I don't have a damn crystal ball, folks. I live this just like Stu does. I'm in here 15 hours a day, and we're on top of it. And so it was a good intel. And so now instead of us accepting each phase of the fear and all the hotels and Uber and the hospitals being told put the mask back on, the orders went out literally the day after I made that announcement. People then realized, oh my God, it's scripted. So we're ahead of it. And now Trump gets it. He knows it's about election meddling for mail-in ballots again. So finally, he's coming all the way over. And so I just see that as another great sign. And this is a huge, huge deal. It's how they want to maintain their control. And so this is a big victory. And I just, am saying it moves the needle. Trump's not perfect. We're obviously not going to support Gavin Newsom or Joe Biden or, Ramaswamy, who you've exposed, who has a lot of great rhetoric, but has a really bad lineage of politics, the Democrats. Regardless, this is a big seismic moment showing that Trump is making good on what he said to take the gloves off. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that you're right that, with repentance and apologies and asking for forgiveness, that anybody could be forgiven. I mean, that goes without saying. How long is it before he comes out on these shots and says, you got to stop taking these shots? They're poisoning you. They're killing you with these shots.
He should do it immediately. He should do it right now, and he'll be supercharged and say, which we know. Look, I know Trump well, and I know what really happened. And if he was bad, I'd come out against him. I'm not just hoping he's a good guy. We know he said, oh, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, vitamin C. He was just getting the country going. He knew they were trying to kill his recovery. So they tricked him and said, well, sir, we've got this promising thing, but we can't green light it. Only you can do it. He got tricked into it. He doesn't want to admit he's wrong. But for a pig-headed person like Trump, this is as far as I would expect him. He may go further now. If he came out and said, I got conned by Fauci, I got conned by all of them. I mean, like you said, they've even had Redfield come out and say, oh, Fauci ran all this and it's gain of function. Even his minions have run for cover. So Trump needs to go all the way, but I think this is a major sign of the right direction. I'm not putting all my all my cards or all my chips on Trump. But I see this as a very big deal. And I think they're going to try to assassinate him. I mean, I think
do
they
too.
are
Yeah,
really,
I do
really
too.
scared right now.
We talked about that on your program just the other day. I think that if they can't imprison him for the rest of his life, then why wouldn't they kill him? They've killed other presidents. They've killed thousands and thousands, probably millions of innocent people, including children.
Well, exactly. That's even Tucker Carlson raised that with Trump a week ago during that debate, counter debate deal. He said, well, the obvious next thing is kill you. I mean, that you follow the track. And then the media's like, oh, Tucker's crazy. Alex Jones is crazy. Stu Peters is crazy. Oh, they might assassinate a president. Why do they have Secret Service? No, they do it when an elite is in danger and nothing else is working and Trump isn't backing down. The obvious default is kill him. Or Biden won't step down. His wife won't step down. So the globalist may kill Biden and claim a white supremacist did it. We're hearing all this white supremacist talking. White supremacists are the number one threat when that's basically made up. It's like a unicorn, super rare, leprechaun, Santa Claus. Maybe it exists, maybe it doesn't. The point is, I see them either assassinating Biden or Trump before the election or both of them to put the country into civil war. What do you think?
Who is it that you think wants civil war the most?
I mean, you have these multinational Black Rocks and State Streets and people that really...
By the way, these are the people that
88%.
fund this Ramalama deep state guy, who we've worked really hard to expose, this Ramalama dipshit. He's funded, by the way, by all of these people, BlackRock and Vanguard. He took Soros money. He was a World Economic Forum young global leader, a Klaus Schwab sycophant. He's like an AI version of a GOP presidential candidate propped up by the Fox News channel, just soaking in and then perfectly regurgitating all of these lines. I want to ask you a question right after the break. If not Trump, then who? We'll be right back with Alex Jones. At some point, we've all been sold a big lie, including yours truly. It's called the protein lie. Starting in the 1980s, supplement companies began pushing massive protein consumption. We all believed that more protein equaled more muscle growth. I'm here to tell you that's a big fat lie. No surprise. Let's say that you eat an 8-ounce chicken breast. You're consuming...
Flush them out. If you've never...
Not Trump, then who? This is a huge breakthrough for anyone who just wants to be smarter. And I mean, who doesn't want that? Again, to learn more, go to Newtopia.com/Stu. Again, Newtopia.com/Stu. Special edition of the Stu Peters Show. We are live with Alex Jones. Very important question that I asked before the break, and it's one that we actually legitimately have to consider. Alex, I mean, so if they lock him up or if they kill him, I mean, what do we do? Who then? If not Trump, then who?
Well, I want to be clear. I'm very concerned about false flags. Culturally, we're winning. And the enemy is losing more and more support with the people. But I think the honest follow through on this is, if you look at where things are going on the graph here, it is the assassination of Trump and the assassination of Biden to blame us. And so we should ask ourselves, what do we do if they kill Trump or kill Biden? That's a big debate. Should happen. This is just the start of the debate here. And then who would replace Trump? And I agree with you. If you look at Governor DeSantis, he's got Republican backing. He says all the right things. I wish he was for real. But with Jeb Bush in your corner and Karl Rove, can't trust him. A lot better than Democrats overall, but can't trust him. And Vivek Ramaswamy, like an AI. You had the perfect analogy of him last segment. If you said, what's an AI of Alex Jones, Stu Peters, Tucker Carlson, and President Trump, it would be Vivek Ramaswamy. And I want to believe he's real. I want to believe that Elon Musk is real. But the backstory's so bad, you can't turn your back. Maybe they've joined us. Maybe they've jumped ship. We've got to be ready for that. But at the same time, there are so many people that have been stayed true and told the truth. That's who we've got to overall support. We can't put our faith in a Vivek Ramaswamy. And so who else is there? I think RFK Jr. is pro-abortion. He admits he is. I hate that.
Yeah.
They did kill his dad. They did kill his uncle. And they hate him. They've been attacking him for the 29 years I've been on air, they've been attacking him at least. So I don't think he's one of them, but he's his own creature that I don't totally agree with. And I think they'll kill him too, or they're not letting him into the different state elections. The Democrats aren't having a debate. So that's basically rigged. So I think we can't put our trust in these politicians. I think it's the governors, the legislatures, the school councils. I think it's we, the people, saying we don't comply, we pull out of this, and we recognize we have an occupied, captured government. I think the surest group to trust is God working through we, the people. What do you think?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. We have to be the plan. And so if we're a country at war, if we're participating in this fifth-generation warfare, we're the victims of it. It's being perpetuated by this murderous crime syndicate that calls itself a government. Been over this over and over again. So what is the plan for we the people? If we're going to be the plan, what does that look like? I mean, what physically do people do? What would you instruct everybody watching to go and do?
I mean, this may sound cheesy to some new viewers, but for anybody that's been in a foxhole, they're no atheist. The first thing is to pray. First time you wake up in the morning is what I do, and before I go to bed. And sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m., I can't sleep. I get on my knees, because it's like you're getting past your arrogance, getting past any pretense that you're in charge. I get on my knees, on the ground, and like last night I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. Couldn't go to sleep, went and got a glass of water, took a piss, went and got on the bedroom, on the rug, and got down and said, God, what do I do? And God said, expose false flags, expose the fact that people need to get close to God, and pull out of the system. Don't support any big globalist corporations. Support mom. I mean, literally, I'm like, this is what God was telling me to do. And just
All right, guys. I'm getting sleepy. Kitty Cam has gone to bed, which means that Kitty could be right up curled up next to my chin. And so I don't have my buddy. We're not going to see a kitten tonight. And Mo is well on his way to enjoying his evening snooze. So I'm going to take this smooth voice and take it to bed, get some rest. Hopefully you learned something tonight about directed energy weapons and got a chance to listen to Alex Jones and realize that he's probably one of the smartest men on this earth as far as being able to be a visionary and see what's going on. So I'm going to tell you, be prepared mentally. This can happen. It is happening. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Be spiritually prepared. Know Jesus Christ is personally your Lord and Savior. He paid for your sin and died, and that you are redeemed truly, and you are a child of God. And then be physically prepared, right? Have someplace to go, a plan, weapons, ammunition, food, water, gasoline, and plan to get out of any city that you might be in, and do it on the back roads, by the way. Don't do it on the main interstates. They're going to try and shut those down, turn you around. So, like they did in Lahaina. So, anyway, I enjoyed the evening. Worked really hard today, cleaned the whole studio out. This morning, I just came in here, and I tend to be a little bit bingy, and so we kind of were drinking for like a week or so, and then yesterday I was finally like I was done. It ran its course, and I said, all right, so let's when I get done with that, I'm just kind of like, all right, I can't live in junk, you know. So clean the whole studio, and then, you know, we're still, after 5 years, still changing the cabin around now that we know Jen's sick and stuff. So remodeling. So I got her whole set up. So she made the debut on camera tonight, and we had the kitty cam and the animal cam. And I got a clean studio, and I'm caught up on my work, and everybody's happy with me. And so, yeah, things are going good, at least personally over here. So I had a really productive day. And I believe I'm going to sleep well because I got my back popped back in place, been hanging like a bat. Yanked that sucker back. And I feel better, and it's easier to sit and read and do all that stuff. But I got to believe I get to brush my teeth and go to bed. So anyway, somebody's watching. Thanks for joining me late anyway, but go back and watch the broadcast, and make sure you like, subscribe, share the message, and definitely hit that notification bell so that anytime we go live, because there wasn't much going on tonight. There's going to be a riot watch, I think, over this weekend. Maybe there was some body cam footage released. But we're going to bring you all the social unrest stuff. Yeah, man. Hey, D-Dog. Yeah, I'm shutting it down. Mama's gone to bed, and the kitty went to bed, and the dog's passed out, and I'm about ready to do the same. So, but anyway, yeah, it was a good day, man. So, you know, out of all the things that can happen in a day, man, things got better. Nothing got worse. Hey, man, what more can you ask for, right? So, anyway, D, I'll be seeing you. I'm sure I'll be going on live probably tomorrow night, and there might be some more action going on. Mama just petered out, and we didn't have much aggregation. So I just did tonight I did the whole package on directed energy weapons, or the whole show. And so, yeah, man. Mad Chad. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, this whole Maui thing, I did the whole show about that. And so it was pretty cool because I replayed some stuff that I did a voiceover for on a Weapons of Warheads channel, and then I did another one about suspecting that that's what happened in Maui, and then we played Alex Jones and interviewed by Stu Peters. So, oh, did you? Cool. That's good. Yeah, good. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you dropping by, man. It's good to see you, and still intimate, but that's okay, man. Intimate's fine. It'll be intimate until it's not supposed to be, until it's supposed to get bigger, right? So anyway, I'm just glad to see familiar names popping up, man. I mean, that's more than I had for a long time. So I didn't even have the ability to live stream. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Pretty blessed. So anyway, you have a good evening. You get some rest, and maybe we'll see each other again tomorrow. All right, man. I am Truth Slinger. Everyone that might see this in the future or see it now. And as soon as I find my buttons, I am out of here. I am.
Mm-hmm.